Theme parks promise fun and excitement, but sometimes a day of joy can turn into a nightmare in seconds. We trust the rides are safe, but what happens when that trust is shattered? Today we're diving into the most shocking theme park ride accidents ever caught on camera. These aren't just statistics. These are real people whose lives changed forever. From catastrophic mechanical failures to shocking design flaws, these stories reveal the dangers lurking behind the bright lights. The following content is graphic and may be disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. If you're ready, let's begin. Our first stop is Action Park in New Jersey, infamous for its dangerous rides and disregard for safety. Locals called it Traction Park for a reason. Injuries were constant and safety was an afterthought. The Alpine Slide was the park's most notorious ride, a concrete track, a plastic sled, and a barely working brake. Riders faced a choice: go slow and risk being rear-ended, or go fast and risk flying off into rocks and trees. Injuries were so frequent that the park bought extra ambulances just for its guests. In 1980, a 19-year-old employee died after his sled flew off the track, highlighting the ride's deadly flaws. Despite this, the Alpine Slide stayed open, and injuries kept piling up. Action Park's management saw injuries as just part of the experience. The first aid station was overwhelmed daily, treating everything from broken bones to severe track rash. Employees described it as a war zone. The Alpine Slide became a symbol of the park's reckless philosophy: fun at any cost. Action Park finally closed in 1996, but its legacy remains a cautionary tale. The Alpine Slide stands as a chilling example of what happens when safety is ignored. It was less a ride and more a survival challenge. Thousands left with scars, some physical, some emotional. Action Park's story is almost unbelievable, but for many, it was painfully real. It's a reminder: thrill should never come before safety. The park's closure was inevitable, but the lessons linger. Let's move on to our next disaster. Next, we head to Alton Towers in the UK, home to the Smiler, a record-breaking roller coaster with 14 inversions. On June 2, 2015, a test carriage stalled on the track. The safety system stopped the next train, but staff overrode it thinking it was a glitch. With no clear view of the stalled train, they sent a loaded carriage down the track. Passengers saw the empty train ahead and screamed for help, but their warnings were ignored. The collision was catastrophic, metal twisted, passengers trapped, and chaos erupted. Front row riders suffered devastating injuries. 2 young women lost their legs, and others faced lifelong trauma. Emergency crews worked for hours to free the victims. The cause: human error and a failure to follow safety protocols. The investigation revealed a breakdown in communication and pressure to keep rides running. Merlin Entertainments, the park's parent company, was fined a record $5 million. The Smiler crash became a landmark case exposing the consequences of bypassing safety systems. Even the most advanced technology can't protect against human mistakes. The scars, physical and psychological, remain for those involved. The Smiler's twisted grin became a symbol of tragedy. Safety must always come first. At Six Flags Kentucky Kingdom, a day of fun turned into a nightmare on the Superman Tower of Power ride. On June 21, 2007, 13-year-old Caitlin Lassiter boarded the drop tower, unaware of the danger above. As the ride ascended, a steel cable snapped, whipping violently and striking the carriage. The cable wrapped around Caitlin's legs, severing both feet in a horrifying instant. Passengers were trapped, covered in blood as chaos unfolded. Emergency responders rushed her to the hospital. Doctors saved 1 foot, but the other was lost. The investigation revealed the park ignored a manufacturer's warning to replace the cables. The cable that failed was original and worn out, a preventable disaster. Six Flags chose not to spend the money, and Caitlin paid the price. The ride was dismantled and her family settled with the park. Caitlin's story is a stark reminder: maintenance and safety warnings are not optional. Negligence can have life-altering consequences. The incident forced parks everywhere to re-examine their safety protocols. One ignored warning led to a lifetime of recovery. The cost of cutting corners is never worth it. Superman Tower of Power never operated again. Let's look at another tragedy. Dreamworld in Australia was known for family fun, until October 25, 2016. The Thunder River Rapids ride, considered safe for all ages, became a death trap after a pump failure stranded a raft on the conveyor. Another raft collided with it, flipped, and threw 6 passengers into the ride's machinery. 2 children survived, but 4 adults were crushed and drowned. The tragedy unfolded in seconds, witnessed by horrified guests and staff. Investigators found a shocking history of ignored safety warnings and inadequate maintenance. The ride had multiple pump failures that day, but it stayed open. There was no single emergency stop button, and staff training was lacking. No proper risk assessments had been done in over 30 years. DreamWorld's parent company was fined millions, and the ride was demolished. The loss of 4 lives on a family ride was a brutal wake-up call. Small failures and complacency combined for the worst possible outcome. The park's reputation was shattered. The tragedy forced the entire industry to rethink safety. Even the tamest rides can turn deadly if warnings are ignored. In Japan, a country known for safety, Expoland's Fujin Raijin 2 roller coaster became a scene of horror on May 5, 2007. During a busy holiday, a car derailed at high speed, scraping along the safety railing. Passengers were tossed violently. 1 young woman was killed instantly and 19 others were injured. Emergency crews faced a dangerous rescue high above the ground. The cause: a broken axle never replaced in 15 years despite manufacturer guidelines. Maintenance records showed no inspections or replacements, ignoring clear warnings. The park gambled with lives, and tragedy struck. The company admitted negligence, and Expoland closed for good. Even in places with strict standards, shortcuts can be deadly. The Fujin Raijin 2 derailment is a stark warning. Safety protocols exist for a reason. Ignoring them can destroy lives and reputations. The park's closure was inevitable after such a preventable disaster. Trust in the industry was shaken. The lesson: never take maintenance for granted. Let's move to our next case. Even Disneyland isn't immune to tragedy. On September 5, 2003, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad suffered a catastrophic failure. Loose bolts caused the locomotive to derail in a tunnel, and the following cars crashed into it. 22-year-old Marcelo Torres was killed. 10 others were injured. Rescue was difficult in the dark, cramped tunnel. Investigators found improper maintenance and ignored warning signs. A critical lock nut wasn't tightened, and a safety wire was missing. A ride operator had reported strange noises, but the ride stayed open. Disneyland's reputation for safety was shattered. The accident led to stricter protocols across California. Even the most beloved parks can make fatal mistakes. One shortcut can have devastating consequences. On July 26, 2017, the Ohio State Fair's Fireball ride broke apart mid-air in front of horrified crowds. A gondola carrying 4 people detached and was flung to the ground. 18-year-old Tyler Jarrell was killed. Others suffered catastrophic injuries. The cause: hidden internal corrosion in a steel support beam, invisible during standard inspections. Water had seeped inside, weakening the metal over years. The accident was caught on video, shocking the world. All similar rides worldwide were shut down for inspection. The tragedy exposed flaws in inspection protocols. Sometimes, danger is hidden deep within. The fairground became a disaster zone in seconds. Emergency crews responded quickly, but the damage was done. The incident forced manufacturers and operators to rethink safety checks. Even rides that look safe can hide fatal flaws. The lesson: never underestimate what you can't see. These stories are terrifying reminders of the responsibility behind every thrill ride. Catastrophic failures and human errors can turn fun into tragedy in an instant. Always follow safety rules and speak up if something feels wrong. Your vigilance could prevent the next disaster. Have you had a scary theme park experience? Share your story in the comments. Thank you for joining us for this important look at theme park safety. Stay safe, and thanks for watching.